HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
And by Webster First Federal Credit Union, providing financial products with attentive customer service to the local families and businesses of Hopkinton. Visit us at websterfirst.com. Hello, and welcome to HCAM News. Tom Nappy at the anchor desk to keep you up to date with what's happening in Hopkinton. On this edition of HCAM News, Water and Sewer Manager Eric Carty gave us an update on some of the latest DPW happenings. Weston Nursery's president, Peter Mezit, talked to us about the upcoming Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue event to benefit the Jimmy Fund. And School Superintendent Dr. Carol Kavanaugh joined me in studio to talk about how preparations for the upcoming school year are coming along. But first, here are some happenings in town you should know about. Aerial mosquito spraying is taking place in Hopkinton and many other surrounding towns after a Grafton resident was diagnosed with the Triple E virus. The Hopkinton Health Department reminds everyone to be careful with outdoor activities and to use bug spray whenever outside during evening hours and anytime when you are in an area mosquitoes could be present. For more information and further updates about mosquito control, head over to our website hcam.tv. The Hopkinton Senior Center is hosting an open house on Wednesday, September 18th. The open house includes free fitness programs and the annual Bocce Challenge between the Hopkinton Police and Fire Departments and the Senior Center's best bocce players. The Bocce Challenge will take place at 3 p.m. and air live on HCAM's YouTube page. For more details, head over to our website. Believe it or not, the school year starts on August 28th. And there is a new traffic pattern for Hopkinton Middle and High School. You can see the full details of the traffic pattern in a video hosted by School Superintendent Dr. Carol Kavanaugh at our website, hcam.tv. Hopkinton Water and Sewer Manager Eric Carty updated us on some of the latest happenings at the very busy DPW. Here's the latest.
First off, probably no surprise to anyone is the amount of construction that's going on in town. There's quite a few building projects going on, and a lot of that involves us, especially marking the utilities. We've spent an inordinate amount of time this year just marking out utilities for all the construction projects through Main Street with the gas company. We have our own project going on Cedar Street. We're replacing the water main down there as part of the downtown project. So they've got most of that done now. They have a few more steps to do, and then that will be all set. We've also had to deal with several emergencies this year. We've had a couple of big main breaks. We've had one on Chamberlain Street, right where the Charles River crossing is. We actually had just a little bit of water bubbling, and we went out to investigate, and when we looked on the downstream side, we saw quite a bit of water in the Charles, and we looked on the upstream side, there wasn't much. So we actually looked in the culvert, and we could see about a 10 to 15 gallon a minute leak was actually making its way into the culvert unseen, and we were able to track that one down, repair that. We also had people seeing the water leak we had uptown on Main Street. It actually took us quite a while to find that one. It was coming from the old water main, the 1888 water main that we replaced about 6 years ago. And we know that was all cut and capped, so we could not figure out where the water was coming from getting into the old main. And we finally cut down one night, cut it open to see where water was coming from. We saw it coming from the uphill side, and we were able to trace it back to an old line that was being fed from a new service off of Walcott Street. It was actually running through one of the old buildings up there that was vacant that we've been trying to get in, and finally we were able to get in and found that the water was going in from the back side of the building and going out into the old main, even though it had been shut off at one time. We're not sure how it got turned back on, but that was actually causing the old main to leak out front, so we were finally able to get that one fixed. And then we had a real doozy over on Woody Island Road about 3 weeks ago. The water main on the road going out to the island actually burst and was shooting good 30 feet in the air, just like in the movies. I keep telling everyone that never happens, but it's the first time I've ever seen that happen, and we worked the entire night trying to restore service to the island. We had to run a temporary line, also get the road open because residents couldn't get out. The police and fire were not able to get out there either, so we had to work through the night to get access back out there and get them water, and working on a long-term fix for that one right now. In addition to that, we've got some new equipment in that we've been using. Maybe we can go take a look at that afterwards. We have a new valve turner that allows us to exercise the water main gate valves so that those are available to us in emergencies, so we're able to get on them and shut them down quicker, being able to restore service to the community quicker. Less water is lost during leakage and less damage to the roads. So we've had a lot going on that's been keeping us busy. The weather, thankfully we've been lucky the past 2 summers, although it's been pretty hot. We've had just enough rain that's been able to help us out and able to keep the groundwater fairly high and keep the water supplies pretty stable. So we've been lucky in that aspect with not too much damage. We've had a few lightning storms, but nothing that's been too bad. I know the highway's been out a couple of times with some down branches and so, but overall it just seems like it gets busier and busier here in town with being right at the intersection of 495 and the Mass Pike. It's just a big boom for the construction here, so we're pretty much running nonstop.
Wow, so does it calm down a little bit, or is it going to be nonstop throughout the rest of the summer?
It will be nonstop because we got now the gas company digging in the center of town, so they'll be going through our utilities. We're still working on marketing with them, and like I said, we'll still be finishing up with our Cedar Street main, and we'll be starting up some other projects that we have going on as well. So yeah, it'll be it makes the day go by quick, which is good.
Coming up next, School Superintendent Dr. Carol Kavanaugh updated us on how preparation is coming along for the upcoming school year, and Weston Nursery's president, Peter Mezit, talked to us about the upcoming Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue event to benefit the Jimmy Fund, and Matt Clark has our HCAM Insider. A whole lot more ahead. Stay tuned.
HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Golden Pond Assisted Living, honoring resident choice, dignity, and independence. Our health and wellness focus keeps residents active. Golden Pond, state-of-the-art senior housing and healthcare services.
Come to Weston Nurseries on Saturday, September 7th for our 3rd annual Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue event. Enjoy barbecue from PJ's and Gotta-Q, hot dogs from Snappy Dogs, fresh homemade ice cream from Ullman's, and beer and wine from Marty's Liquors. The F-Tones, Hot Acoustics, the Rationales, and South Street Band will be providing the beats. Join us for a day filled with food, fun, and friends. All proceeds benefit the Jimmy Fund, brought to you by Marty's Liquors and Weston Nurseries. For more details, go to westonnurseries.com.
On Saturday, September 7th, from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m., Weston Nurseries will host their 3rd annual Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue event to raise money for the Jimmy Fund Walk. Weston Nurseries president Peter Mezit talked with us about the event.
So this is our 3rd annual Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue event. We hold it in back of our garden center in this nice grass park-like setting. We call it the Coliseum. We've got a stage set up and we've got 4 bands playing throughout the day. It goes from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., DJ in between, and we've got food vendors. Throughout the day we'll have Snappy Dogs, we'll have PJ's Barbecue, we'll have Gotta-Q Barbecue, we'll have Chef McFall, local guy here from town, and Ullman's Ice Cream will be here as well. The beer and wine will be flowing. Marty's is sponsoring. A lot of different local breweries will be set up here. Ted Twinney from Startline Brewing will be here as well. The whole goal of this fundraising event is to raise more money than we did the year before. Last year we raised just under $30,000 for our Jimmy Fund Walk team. This event raised about $7,500. We had about 800 people show up, so we're expecting good weather again this year. We hope to get more people this year as we're advertising it around town. You'll see signs. We're also hoping to sign up a lot more people for our walk team. Our walk team is the key. You got to raise a minimum of $350. You can walk 26.2 miles. You can start at 6 a.m. here in Hopkinton. You can do a half marathon, start in Wellesley, or you can do as little as 5 miles or even 3 miles. But the point is to raise at least $350 to contribute toward the Dana-Farber Jimmy Fund. It's an incredible organization. They give just about 100% of their money to the patients that are in need and the families and toward research. So again, we're expecting some great weather this year. Again, we always seem to have good weather. I don't want to jinx it, but we're going to have great weather. And it's just a real fun event. It's really kind of laid back, great music, great people. A lot of Hopkinton local people come to this, so we're looking forward to it. Fundraising's going all right so far. We are expecting to get 15 or 20 walkers on the team, and we're about halfway there. A lot more people are going to sign up this week. A lot of our employees walk it every year. My wife and I walk it every year. My wife's walked it more than I have, probably 20 years in a row. So it's going well so far. We're also doing something called Dog Days, and we're going to have one in August and one in September to raise money for the Jimmy Fun Walk team as well. So whatever we can do, but again, it's mainly based on the amount of walkers and the walkers reaching out to their contacts to raise money. And the walk is an incredible experience. You got to do it at least once. A lot of people do it multiple times. So rewarding knowing that you're burning about 2,700 calories along the way for such a good cause.
And when you started this event, did you ever think it would get the response that it did? It seems to grow every year.
You know, it's kind of a homegrown, homespun event for us. We're at the 1 mile marker at the Boston Marathon, and you know, this event, like the Patriots Day Boston Marathon, it just clears out afterwards and people don't even know what happened. But we wanted to kind of take an business ownership position in this this tremendous event and create much more awareness. About I'm going to say about 9,000 walkers and about $9 million were raised with this event last year. So this party is just, again, to raise more money for this Jimmy Fun Walk and create more awareness and get people to sign up for the walk team. So you can find out more information about the Jimmy Fun Walk and the Blooms, Brews, and Barbecue, and you can sign up for the walk by going to westernnurseries.com/events/BBB 2019, I believe. And we also incentivize, once you sign up, we pay for it. You got to put $1 on your credit card just in case you don't raise the minimum, but we pay for your registration fee. We pay the $24 out of the $25. And then if you raise $500 or more, we give you a $50 Western Nurseries gift card. And if you raise $1,000 or more, we're going to send you a $100 Western Nurseries gift card. So how easy is that? It's a great cause, and now you got a great incentive to go along with it.
Tom Nappy here with Hopkinton School Superintendent Dr. Carol Cavanaugh. Dr. Cavanaugh, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
So how's your summer going, first off?
Well, the summer has been wonderful. A lot of activity in our buildings, getting things ready for students to enter next week. But summer is that time when the administrative team has a little bit of breathing room so that we can prepare, gear up, rest up for the coming school year. So it's been very nice. But right now we are in the week before school begins, and we are, we have our foot down on the accelerator because we're moving quickly.
How are the preparations going for the new school year?
I think really well. We have a good portion of the roof all repaired at the middle school. Flooring's going in there. The White House renovation looks beautiful. The gym at the high school is absolutely magnificent. The new floor is beautiful. So a lot of those kinds of things have happened, and I think it's really exciting. Our facilities look as good as they ever have.
So I'm imagining this is probably the crunch time for you, the next couple weeks before the school year.
Indeed it is, yes.
Could you talk about the attendance numbers, how the attendance numbers are looking, and is there any concern with any growth?
So our enrollment numbers are huge right now. And I think when we prepared the budget for FY20, we anticipated probably around 103, 104 students coming in. And, those numbers come to us from NESDEC, just looking at some of the houses that would be ready for occupancy according to the planning board, so there are a number of metrics that we use, but not dissimilar from last year. Last year on October 1st, we were somewhere around 186 kids, and we had only planned for 50 kids last year. This year we had planned for 104, as I said, and we are at 196 today. When we had a school committee meeting last Thursday, so pretty much all of this happened over the weekend, we were at 191. And at the previous school committee meeting, we might have been around 169-ish. So yeah, the numbers are climbing, and they are climbing very, very rapidly.
So has that been difficult to deal with and plan for, or is there a plan implemented in place to be able to deal with this okay?
Well, so I think one of the hardships, I guess, is the timing, right? So what we would hope for is that we would know these numbers in mid-July, because then there might be something more you could do. But when in the last 2 weeks our numbers grow by 26 students, now we have this sort of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So we have all along watched our class sizes, and right now the largest class sizes are in grade 5. The 5th grade classrooms are at 24. That is higher than we would want them to be. But when you get to this point in the season, if you were to create an additional 5th grade classroom, what that would mean is we would have to have an additional section of PE, so you'd need 0.05 of a PE teacher, of a wellness teacher, of an art teacher, you know, all of those different special areas. And so what we've decided to do is to keep our numbers at 24 and to see if we can't hire some paraprofessionals. Those are the paraprofessionals who assist in a general education classroom, to get in there and just alleviate a little bit of the stress, if that's the right word, for the gen ed teachers when they're delivering reading instruction or math instruction. So that's really our hope at grade 5. Grades 7, 9, and 11 are all over 300 students. And if I have grade 11 correct, it's 322, and grade 9 is 315. So we have some big numbers, especially in the high school.
It must be a little bit overwhelming getting all those students kind of at the last minute there. But of course, the Hopkinton School Administration has always done a great job at dealing with growth. Also going on this summer is the bus loop project. Could you talk a little bit about the bus parking lot project? Could you talk a little bit about the bus parking lot project and what's the progress with that?
I can. So you know that the field that was directly behind the high school was largely unused. It was a great expanse of land, and so at town meeting we received the funds to turn that into a bus parking lot. That work has been done over the summer. I think if you kind of get out there and take a look around, or if folks do, they're going to be very pleased, I think, in what they see. So 5 buses at a time can queue up out there to deboard students, and then what will happen is the buses that need to go immediately to a Hopkins run will leave the parking lot. Those that stick around for a little bit because their Hopkins run has a little bit of wiggle time will remain in the bus parking lot. I think the greatest gain for us as a district is that the buses will all stage back there in the afternoon, and that's the term that we use for parking when the kids are getting in, and then they will come back and park at night, saving us about $50,000 a year in excise tax money. So I would recommend that people get out there and take a look. One thing that I will say to all parents and students, when we are actually busing students in and out of that parking lot, no regular vehicle traffic is allowed in it. So we absolutely can't have that, because it really creates that kind of danger, I think, in having students crossing streets back there. So.
And speaking of traffic, you implemented a new traffic pattern at the high school last year. How did that end up working out last year?
Well, at first, I thought that it was going to be more difficult than it actually was. We were very fortunate. We worked with World Tech Engineering, and they are traffic engineers who helped us design a traffic pattern that would alleviate the stress on Hayden Row. So the goal was to get as many cars off of Hayden Row Street as we possibly could. And they did a really nice job with that. So with the assistance of Chief Lee, school resource officers, Matt Santoro, Ben Stickney, and Phil Powers, we were able to, really move traffic, and obviously Paul DeBona, who's out there, rain, shine, sleet, snow, hail, was probably, the greatest instrument in being able to direct that traffic. So I thought that it worked very well last year. This year we should have about 38 more parking spots up front, and people are going to be able to use not only the old bus loop, but the old drop-off to for parent and student drop-off. So I will be getting more information out to families about that shortly.
All right, so what's your plan over the next couple of weeks? So what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think, at this point, it's just really about getting the doors open. So, as I've said, all summer long, the custodians are cleaning. And, if you walked into the schools today, you would think, oh my goodness, look at all of this stuff, because a million deliveries come, and there may be, a couple of desks left in hallways, and, cleaning receptacles and those kinds of things. But miraculously, they will all disappear before opening day. Today, they're putting in flooring in the White House. So I had gone over this morning to check on that, and they were just beginning, but the flooring company should be out by 5 o'clock on Wednesday. And so then it's a matter of getting all of the desks and furniture and those kinds of things ready for the 18 to 22 program. So it's really just, I think we're just in that sort of last minute cleanup right now.
All right, well, Dr. Kavanaugh, thanks so much for taking the time to give us an update, and we look forward to the upcoming school year.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to let people know where we are, because I think it's just important that people exercise a little bit of patience and understand that we really are on top of it. So,
all right,
thanks
you
again.
A whole lot of programming is coming up on the HCAM channels. Standing by to tell you all about it is Matt Clark with our HCAM Insider.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the HCAM Insider. I'm Matt Clark, and here's what's happening this week on HCAM. On Monday, August 26th at 7 p.m., the Hopkinton Planning Board meeting will air live on HCAM TV. On Wednesday, August 28th at 8 p.m., Terry Malisi presents her appreciation dinner to Hopkinton's fire and police officers in a new episode of The Gathering.
And welcome, I'm Terry Malisi, host of The Gathering, and welcome to the second annual Appreciation Gathering. A little history on the event. I always wanted to do something for the police and fire departments to show my gratitude.
And on HCAM Ed, the Ashland Legion Baseball vs. Shrewsbury game will air. If you want to know more about all of HCAM shows before they air, then head over to hcam.tv/connect, where you can sign up for our HCAM Insider newsletter. Or if you want to know more about what's happening in Hopkinton, you can sign up for our daily news updates. That's all for this week's Insider. I'm Matt Clark, and as always, thanks for watching. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Matt. That will just about do it for this edition of HCAM News. Don't forget, you can stay up to date with everything Hopkinton by checking out our website, hcam.tv, as well as our Twitter and Facebook page. Be sure to head over to our website for the latest happenings in our community and check out the Hopkinton Community Calendar to take a look at upcoming events in town. If you have a Hopkinton-related video, photo, or story idea, I want to hear from you. Email me at news@hcam.tv. With your help, we'll cover even more of our community. For everyone here at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. We leave you now with the current community listings and upcoming government meetings. As always, thanks for watching HCAM News. Take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. A pair of Hopkinton Girl Scouts were at the Select Board meeting to receive proclamations for receiving the Girl Scout Gold Award. Girl Scout Emma Bograd worked on a dog park project to help establish regulations and safety protocols.
Have worked to gather information spanning 9 different dog parks, surveying 100 people, both about how much they know about how to keep their dogs safe in the dog park, socialization of dogs in the dog park, and how often it's used and how many people and dogs they usually see on a typical basis. On top of that, I've worked on gathering information about the rules and regulations for the dog park in order to present a set of rules and regulations for our hopefully future dog park, to make sure that everything is safe and that the rules are in line with what some of the dog parks are in the area, but also in line with how to make sure that ours is our own, but still safe. And so after that, I also worked on creating a class. So this class was on safety for the dog park so that people can socialize their dogs there safely so that they don't have to develop any fear aggression, they aren't just left at home.
Girl Scout Mallory Pishoff tried to integrate different parts of the community through music.
Awesome. All right, Mallory, why don't you tell us a little something about what you did?
A big part of my project was trying to integrate different parts of the community through something that can be shared. And with mine, I chose to try and integrate different aspects of music, including bringing members of the Golden Pond community to be able to come to the Hopkinton High School Pops concert in the spring, which is something that allows them to both be able to go out into the community, meet new people, and be exposed to what different things are happening with the music association and the stuff coming out of the high school in that degree. And I did a lot, including organizing different aspects of the concert, including the arranged seating that they do for that specific concert, including reserving seats, allowing ease of access for those coming from Golden Pond to be able to enter early, be seated before crowds come in, transportation from the facility to and from the facility, and being recognized by the concert and the community throughout the thing.
3 Boy Scouts also received proclamations for receiving the rank of Eagle Scout. Patrick Barnes and Jack Riley worked on a soapbox car.
Good to see you.
So me and Jack's Eagle project was we built a 2-person soapbox derby car for an able-bodied driver and a autistic or anybody that can't race on their own that needs help. And I was inspired to do this because I have an autistic cousin and my mom works with the special ed students, and I raced soapbox for 8 years, and I'd always see the cars at the races, and they would be side by side, and they'd go down the hill. And when I proposed this idea to my dad, he thought we should do a front and back. And when we decided we wanted to do this, I had mentioned it to Jack, and he thought it was a cool idea, so he hopped on it with me. We both made our own, and the project took a lot of time. He has pictures. Yeah. It took us a little over a year, over 800 hours, but in the end, they came out really well.